Oh my God.
Was that a teammate?
Yeah, that was me, brother. What the hell?
Corner inside the gate.
Alright. He was looking high. I ain't gonna look up. I just killed the same guy. Oh my god. Modern Warfare 2's Tier 1 game mode is one of the most interesting implementations into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for multiple reasons. One of them is that there really wasn't that much 6v6 multiplayer content for Season 1 at all. And that's for obvious reasons. We have shitty-ass DMZ and shitty-ass Warzone 2 taking away from the development of the core gameplay of what Modern Warfare 2 is. And as a Call of Duty conservative, you know, guys like me, Blame Truth, Nero, 8 Thoughts, we think that this is kind of fucking retarded. Quite frankly, the amount of 6v6 content that we got is literally a spit. It's literally spitting in my face. It is fucking insulting. But the core gameplay is good in Modern Warfare 2. And I think that Tier 1 kind of enhances it. Tier 1 is, in my opinion, a pretty fun game mode most of the time. Nero made a video on DMZ and he said it was actually okay. I absolutely and unequivocally disagree. Everyone who has ever played a decent extraction shooter knows that Call of Duty's DMZ mode is fucking dog shit. There are no stakes whatsoever. None of the loot you pick up matters. The money you pick up doesn't matter. Nothing matters in that game mode. And things mattering is the entire identity of an extraction shooter. You extracting needs to matter, and it does not in DMZ. But that is a topic for a completely different video. I've got some gameplay, Tier 1, on Shoot House with the new M13, which, by the way, is fucking sucks in Tier 1. It doesn't do very much damage. It's like a high fire rate, low damage, controllable AR. It's definitely more suited for, dare I say, Warzone or, you know, 6v6 core multiplayer. But I leveled it up pretty much exclusively in Tier 1 and some in Invasion. But I've been hearing a lot of, you know, polarization with the Tier 1 game mode. I think that the lack of HUD makes it look pretty clean. Minus my activate Windows, go to settings to activate Windows watermark because I had to wipe my computer 2 months ago. That should be gone by the next video. But other than that watermark on my screen, the no HUD look looks pretty clean. I think the gameplay is smooth. I think obviously the animation quality is amazing. It has all of the pluses of Modern Warfare 2, plus some immersion features, some things that help immersion slightly. And the game looks beautiful in this mode. All of that coupled with Infinity Ward's master sound design. I mean, other than footstep audio that they just cannot seem to get right, and apparently that's connected to skill-based matchmaking and skill lobbies, you know, allegedly, right? I still gotta watch and, you know, take in more information on that topic. But other than footstep audio, every other piece of audio design in Infinity Ward's Call of Duty games, the last 2 they've made, have been masterful. Truly impressive. I've been seeing a lot of people crying. You know, Merc Music made a video, and I completely understand his criticism that it's not hardcore, but it's not called hardcore for a reason. It's not traditional Call of Duty hardcore, you know? Bring the kill feed back. Where? Where's my hit markers? Where? When Infinity Ward innovates in retarded ways, i.e. DMZ, i.e. Warzone, okay? I slap them on the wrist. I say, hey, you guys are fucking dumb. You guys are retarded. You're giving up everything that has made Call of Duty great for the last 19 years, okay? The last 19 years, we've had some great Call of Duty experiences. You're giving up everything that the Call of Duty franchise has built in favor of a shitty fucking BR experience and a watered down, shitty, fucking great value Dollar General version of some Escape from Tarkov or The Cycle or Marauders clone, some shitty version of an extraction shooter, instead of focusing on the 6v6 core Call of Duty experience. This is an evolution of the core 6v6 Call of Duty experience. This is them paying some sort of homage or paying some sort of respect to the tactical shooter genre. Things like Insurgency, things like Squad, games like Hell Let Loose, Ground Branch, Ready or Not. Now, is it as good or does it play as tactically and as realistically as those experiences do? Absolutely not. But it has some of the same qualities, and it is equally as immersive as some of those experiences due to the great sound design, the great animation quality, right? There are things that this game mode shares with games that are truly exceptional. Some of the greatest first-person shooter experiences of all time, and that needs to be acknowledged. I don't want to hear you fucks whining about how it's not traditional Call of Duty hardcore. If that's the experience that Infinity Ward was going for, they would have called it hardcore. They called it Tier 1 for a reason. They didn't call it hardcore for a reason. We barely got any 6v6 multiplayer content for Season 1. We got one map, which is Shoot House, which is mid as fuck. It was mid when it came out. It damn near sucked, and it damn near sucks now. Okay? So we got one map. We got this game mode. That's what we basically what we got for 6v6 in terms of the core gameplay of Modern Warfare 2. So for you fucks to complain about this, it's like, hey, you know what, let's give them this signal. Let's give them that signal. Let's say, you know what, instead of, because no one's going to complain about Warzone, right? There's people complaining about Warzone 2, I guess, but I bet you guys aren't talking with your fucking gameplay. You're not talking with your wallets. You're all probably playing that shit, right? So there's people complaining about that, but then sending mixed signals by playing the shit, right? I think DMZ is terrible. I think DMZ is, of the two, Warzone or DMZ, I'd rather play DMZ, but they're both fucking garbage. But then I hear people just complaining, the Call of Duty community, just complaining about Tier 1. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? The Call of Duty community has terrible taste in fucking video games. There are some COD games that the Call of Duty community hates. There are actually decent fucking video games. The communities that understand, the people that actually enjoy Tier 1, most of them aren't even COD guys. They're guys like MGE Gibbs, that's an Insurgency guy. There are guys like Tacti Gamer and Blue the Robot. Those are World War III / tactical shooter guys, right? There are people from other communities that honestly, quite frankly, play better games and have just generally better taste in video games, in my personal opinion, that have praised Tier 1, and I absolutely agree with those people. With that being said, DMZ is a very interesting case as well, because DMZ is kind of the reverse. There are people within the Call of Duty community praising DMZ, but there are people outside of it that have played the other extraction-themed multiplayer first-person shooters that are saying this is a terrible, watered-down version of all of those. Now, in my opinion, that is true. DMZ is trash, and it's a watered-down version of Marauders or Tarkov or even The Cycle. That, The Cycle was a great game, it just had too many hackers, but you get what I'm saying. There are people outside of the Call of Duty community that see DMZ for what it is, which is a complete knockoff of better experiences. But the Call of Duty community, because they don't actually play very many other video games, are just completely eating that shit up. They're loving it. Now, in my opinion, I think that DMZ is a great platform. I think that the basis of what the mode is can be improved on later on down the road. But I don't think, as of right now, as it sits, it's a very good experience at all. I think that Tier 1 mode is a very welcomed experience into the core Call of Duty multiplayer experience that we honestly have not had very much shit to welcome into it. We haven't got that much content for Call of Duty. I mean, Vanguard was the same way. Vanguard literally felt like a fucking Warzone DLC. There wasn't that much content in Vanguard. All of the most meaningful content in Vanguard, honestly, were like bundles. There were skins and shit. Now, later on, they started to add some decent maps into the game, but very many people didn't play Vanguard later on in its life cycle. Neither did I. Vanguard wasn't a very good game. I think that Vanguard's core systems were okay, but I think the game was so politically egregious that I just couldn't stomach it. Vanguard's very goofy, action movie, cartoonish depiction of World War II was about the worst way they possibly could have done it. But Tier 1 does the exact opposite of what the entirety of Vanguard did. It takes Modern Warfare 2's tone, which is slightly more serious, slightly more in line with the OG Call of Duty games that Vanguard was, and ramps it up a little bit, makes the game a little more intense, makes the game a little more immersive, and all that is good. Now, with all that being said, I do feel for the hardcore community. I think that this was a great addition into the game, Infinity Ward. I like it. I will continue to play it from time to time, and I think that it fits very well into the game that you have built. But I also think that there is a community of players that are kind of being alienated, and they want traditional hardcore back. And I think that that should be added into the game. Traditional hardcore should come back. Essentially this game mode, but with the HUD, you know, with the kill feed, with the hit markers. These are things that there are a group of people that do want it, and I think that it is only fair to them, because the hardcore has been in every other Call of Duty, for them to be able to get it. I understand you wanted to evolve the hardcore game mode. I agree with what you did, but there is a group of people who want to play the game that way, and I don't think that we should stop them from playing the game that way. I think that if you've been playing hardcore mode on Call of Duty for years, and that's what you enjoy playing, I think that there is a place here for that. There's no reason for there not to be a place here for that, and Infinity Ward should take you guys up on that. Should absolutely add that game mode into the game. You can never have too many things to do in your fucking game. You know what I mean? Maybe I would even go and play some of that too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the traditional hardcore. Traditional hardcore has been a staple in Call of Duty for years, and it should absolutely come back in order to appease that crowd. But don't shit on Tier 1, because it's not exactly what you want it to be. Look at it objectively for what it is.
The motherfucking world is a ghetto, full of magazines, full clips, and heavy metal when the smoke settles. I'm just looking for a big yellow. It's 6-inch stilettos, Dr. Dre. Hello.